Hey, this is Heath Burr. Welcome to Bar is Closed. It's the first episode of a show that's about the musings and ramblings of a lifelong heavy drinker. So here I am, my first evening sober in a while. I have been operating on different levels of moderation and not so much moderation over the last, 90 days. I'm the kind of drinker that can stop drinking, right? In the beginning of this year, I took a 60-day sobriety test, and I'm doing another one right now today. So in that 60 days that I did the last one, my whole life turned upside down. And there were many magical things that came out of it and many heartbreaking things that came out of it. And it was really topsy-turvy. So I guess I'm a little both anxious to re-embark in a sober journey for a while and a new relationship with that for a bit. I'm not an AA, I'm not a day drinker. When I was on my first 60 days of sobriety in February of this year, I did go attend some AA meetings, and my ex-girlfriend was sweet enough to kind of introduce me to that, and she'd had some experience with that in her life and kind of got me in there initially to see what it's about. And I really came to the conclusion for me that, that wasn't the place for me, and I don't think that that's a really healthy place for a lot of other people. I think it's perfect for many, and obviously the world of podcasts share that and show that is a real tool and a righteous place for a lot of people. But for me, I came in there having a relationship with spirit, at least, and with God. I had given up different notions of religion and, through history of colonization and watching the guttural pain that comes out of religious movements, I avoided all that like the plague since I was probably in my early 20s. But in my early 20s, I was feeling very spiritually inclined. And I kind of left it for the world for about 20 years. Even though I was still, a believer in bigger things in the universe, if you will. It was easier for me, like everybody, to call it the universe. And I believed in, different aspects of Taoism, of being present and trying to do things in the real world in a present way and try to practice mindfulness. So I held all those in theory, I think, and kind of held them in a chest box, that I didn't really pull out enough. It was almost like a trophy that said that I was a spiritual human being and that I do believe in a higher power, but I'm not going to be bothered by any of that right now. So I think in that, even though I started drinking early, my teenage years, I think this became a solace, right? I'm a typical go out in Manhattan and have drinks with your friends kind of guy, or Bloody Marys on Sunday, or a little whiskey in the evenings, and it's a little bit too much tequila when the time is right. And it's been a potion most of my life, and I've loved the times I've spent with others drinking. I've sometimes loved myself and what comes out of me when I'm drinking or drunk or drunky, as my ex would say. And, just coming to the realization as of this year and how much is gained and lost by, taking potion and sometimes not grasping that it is becoming your poison. And that's really what this podcast is about, is to embark on, one man's journey at the moment in regards to trying to redefine my relationship and be a better human being for the people I love, including myself, to be a healthier human being and to operate in power, both with, relationship to my God and in relationship to my integrity and relationship to my inner world and my outer world. And so to be healthy, moderation is key. I've always known that. My mom always was really good about teaching me that, and I've experimented in different ways with different vices over the years as a young man, and I felt like I had a really good handle on almost all of them, except for the booze, right, and cigarettes. And so I took on smoking cigarettes, early on too. I used to hate them. I remember just hardly barely get one down, and when I was fishing in Alaska, they were just, so good on those 15-minute breaks that I became a lifelong smoker. So 20 years of smoking. I quit at the same time cigarettes at that 60 days and got through that 60 days and have really only smoked a few packs, I would say. Since then, maybe 5. I've cheated and got some packs and chain smoked a whole pack or something and put it away for days. But I'm definitely not a daily cigarette smoker anymore, which has been a joy. That's the first real win. I love those cigarettes, so I convinced myself that I did, and I really do love the ritual. I love the ceremony. That's the same thing about drinking. I love finishing a hard day and getting all your last things done and sitting down by the fire and pouring a nice drink and, going into the evening. But one of the things I realized, and hey, if you hear my voice a little bit trembling, I'm actually kind of oddly nervous on this one because it is more personal maybe than my other podcasts. I'm also sitting in a chilly, cold stone house up on the top floor here in a wood room, and the little fireplace heater just went out, so it's actually a little chilly here, but we'll get to that story a little bit more because just, less than 5 months ago, I was living in Florida. A totally different lifestyle, and now I'm living in a little town of 880 in a Wyoming town in the mountains in a stone old speakeasy house, which is a remarkable experience. And it's also another reason why I want to do this journey, is because I want to continue to see my life manifest and unfold in the most beautiful and magical ways that I never really thought could happen, could, really come together, and they have, and they are. And so I think for me, in order for me to be my better self, I'm not quite strong enough to moderate enough week to week to really get in alignment with some more good habits that I want to take on. So for instance, I don't read when I drink, so I need to read. I don't exercise enough when I drink. I don't practice instruments that I want to learn when I drink. I don't study enough about the marketplace of podcasts and things like that when I drink. I typically just kind of either drink and talk, which is my favorite thing to do. And I realize I can't really drink and talk on podcasts, but I wish I could have. And then what I found is they call it the spirits for a reason. And I just, as of lately, especially in this huge emotional year for me and crazy year for me personally, and again, good, but wild, drinking gave me the place to go to the spirits and, kind of tangle with myself and my dark shadows. And some of that was very dark, and some of that was really light, and some of it was very enlightening. And that's what kept me coming back. All of it is a vice that I'm not moderating. And so what I'm going to do is a 60-day challenge here to get through the holidays, no drinking, enjoy it, and especially over the holidays. It's funny that the timing would come to this, but it's the best time to enjoy it. But yeah, I'm going to start figuring out what are the things I'm going to do every single day to replace booze. And then, just kind of talk through that with you guys, openly as I am now, and see what comes out of this, over time. And hopefully this will be worth listening to and you'll stick with me. Thanks for joining me. First episode.